Hey everyone, welcome to the Red Sea Road podcast number 28, I believe.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Once we hit 100, that'll be like really super cool. But in the meantime, my name is Sue. We have Pastor Sam Coleman from Charity Lutheran Church in Bismarck, and we have the man behind the mask.
Yeah, the man behind the mask, the man, the myth, the legend. Yeah, the man in the corner.
The man in the corner, the Google dude.
The Google master. Yeah.
The Google master,
Yeah.
yes. Jono.
Yeah.
He's our tech guy, and we couldn't do this without him, and so...
And he also likes to have conversation because, I think that as we're talking about like the favorite things of Christmas.
Oh yeah, he's the subject of the day today.
Yeah,
isn't he?
yeah.
Jono.
Because we had asked Jono, what is one of your favorite things about Christmas? Jono, what is one of your favorite things about Christmas?
My favorite thing is definitely "Oh Holy Night." I love that song.
Sing it for us.
Nope.
Come on.
Takes a lot of peer pressure to get me to sing.
Does it? Your brother sang at church all the time. I'm disappointed that you don't.
Yeah.
He had a beautiful voice.
I've got like that.
I think he wants us to sing with him, Sue.
No.
Of,
That's a high song. Oh Holy Night.
a high song.
Isn't that in a pretty high register?
Well, you can change the key.
Right. You can start wherever you want.
We're not going to also, we wouldn't, if we were singing, we would not be into, like, I don't think we'd be in the right key.
I don't think so either, because I'm somewhere between an alto and nowhere.
An alto in nowhere.
I like that, Sue. That's a good, that's a good description.
Good luck finding that key. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So what is it about that song that you particularly like there, Jono?
Well, going back to singing. So I went to school at BHS, and there was just this tradition at BHS that when we sang, we always sang "Oh Holy Night" for our Christmas service.
Oh.
Or concert.
You always sing.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
you got to watch that word service because you're in a school setting.
I'm not in the school setting anymore.
Right. But I mean, when you're at school, they
Yeah.
don't ever call that worship or service. It's always...
Well, it's a concert. We sing a lot of I don't know, actually. I remember it's been a long time.
Are they secular songs? Is that what they're called? Yeah,
we really
secular
didn't sing
songs.
secular songs for most things. I mean, I guess it was classical music.
Oh, cool.
So maybe secular classical, I guess.
I think that's a good way to describe "Oh Holy Night."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so you had this, and it was weird that my senior year, because Mike Seil had left to go to Legacy, and Mike Seil, who was the director, and he, was actually my director for like 6 years, and a really good like mentor to me and my brothers.
And
So-
what was it about his mentorship? Like, what stands out to you about that? Like when you say that he was your mentor.
Well, I guess it was bigger for my eldest brother because, he didn't have much ambition when he was younger, but then he got into choir and like all of these things turned around, and then he was he actually went to college for music and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Mostly because of Mike. Just because,
So really Mike gave him or kind of helped to bring out that passion in Sean's life.
Yep. So, and then, he was just a great teacher. We all liked hanging out with him. He was a great guy. So anyways, we get to senior year. He's not there anymore. And then we have Brian Saylor, who was also another, great person. But Oh Holy Night, I'd never had taken a solo before. I don't like to be in front of people.
Center of attention.
Yeah, I hate it.
You will never see
It is
his
my
face.
least favorite thing ever is to be center of attention.
Okay.
So this is even really annoying for me.
Really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't like to, talk that much.
I don't know. You seem to be doing a pretty good job of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so I remember Mike was still, so I was in Central Dakota Children's Choir as well, which is an extracurricular
right.
thing. And Mike was still my director there. And I went to him and I was like, so can I ask you for a favor? I want to do the Holy Night solo. Can you help me practice?
Oh,
So I spent 3 months practicing with him.
right.
Only once a week if we could find time. But So I went through all of that, didn't tell anybody. And I got the solo, and it was the first solo. So
Really?
it's the first verse. And yeah, that was a lot of work, but I didn't tell anybody then either. So we come to the concert, and here's me doing a solo, and my parents like,
We're blown away.
yeah, nobody ever.
See, what a great gift for his parents.
Oh, I know. What a great gift of just time. And I mean, what a great gift for him to give you.
So
And what a great gift for you to even approach him and talk to him about that. That's amazing.
mhm. So that was the only solo I've ever had in my
Right.
entire life.
That's cool. I remember Siri Nordval Siri or Carl used to stand at the back of the church at Christmas time and sing, "Prepare ye the way of the Lord." Prepare ye. That was music is so important to the mood of all of this stuff. I love that song, "Oh Holy Night."
Mm-hmm.
I think that, John, do you know, do you remember like the words of that "Oh Holy Night," like how that actually went?
Mostly.
Google it.
Do you think that you could just speak those words out, like speak out the words of that song? Because I think that like part of this is part of Christmas favorites is we're talking about this and really kind of talking. I think we're actually closing today on the Christmas favorite portion of this podcast is to really say, what is it about these Christmas favorites or these Christmas traditions that really like reach into our hearts? Because, okay, so I'm just going to kind of take a little bit of a rabbit's trail right now. One of the things that I love is I love how like with Pixar, I love Pixar, a company, sister Disney bought Pixar here a while ago, but Pixar came out with all these incredible movies here probably in the last 20 years, 15 years.
They have
whatever.
a new one coming out about souls.
Oh, cool. But one of the things that I love about Pixar is what they did is they have these, and they can be children's movies, Toy Story or Monsters Inc. or Finding Nemo and things like that. But really what they did is they grabbed onto what the human heart craves. Whether that's community, whether that's being known and accepted, whether it's a sense of risk and adventure, but like with Finding Nemo, like this sense of this father's love for his son that's going to go and search out everywhere to find his son, and yet there's humor and there's funniness and there's adventure,
Good animation,
yeah. And what really happened with Pixar films is that they grabbed onto something, especially with they're massive ones. It's because they grabbed onto the human heart of saying, this is what's truly important. And I think that actually, like, as we talk about Christmas and as we talk about Christmas favorites, like what we love about Christmas, it's because there's a tie to like what is truly important in the human heart, like what we cry out for, whether we're crying out for a sense of home, like we talked about in the last episode, like whether it's a sense of purpose, a sense of light, like light that overcomes the darkness, a sense of like, a sense of friendship, a sense of community, a sense of being together and living life together, a sense of, I think that actually all great movies or great stories, the reason that they're great is because they grab onto something in the human heart that says, I need this.
That and it's all the same story. It's just different characters and different settings. Like
Right.
I study these things. One of the big things is a transformation. A movie that has the element of a transformation where Scrooge became this very generous person after being visited by his three spirits,
Right.
that kind of thing where you have a transformed heart.
Right.
That is a key element in a lot of these movies too, that somebody ends up, the least expected character ends up being the hero of the whole movie. That's always so super cool.
And actually, like, as you bring that up, Sue, too, I mean, for me and my family, like one of the movies that we love watching, which is kind of funky, but we love watching the Muppets Christmas Carol. I think Jim Henson film, Disney put it out. And I can't remember the Michael Caine. Michael Caine is like one of the main characters in this.
Is he actually Ebenezer,
He's Scrooge,
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he's Scrooge. But like I watch it with my kids. Sarah doesn't like it. Sarah thinks it's creepy. But
I love the original one with Alistair whatever his name is, Alistair. It's like from the 20s or so. I mean, it's really an old version of the.
And do you love it? Do you love it because there's kind of a sense of nostalgia that goes with it, or a sense of like, I mean, well, you think about that particular, the Christmas Carol, right?
It's like the standard next to It's a Wonderful Life is the standard 2 movies, but now they've been overtaken by Elf.
True.
But I love that movie too. That is a super cool Christmas movie too, because he's got that innocent joy in his heart. And eventually the transformation of his real dad comes about. And this guy realizes that the important things in life are not his job and his work, but his family and his weirdo kid that thinks he's an elf.
But loves Christmas.
Right. And singing in that movie, that's what drives Santa's sleigh, is a music, singing, people singing
or believing
and believing. And, I love it. And Candy R plays Christmas music like 24/7 these days, like
that's
during
awesome.
the whole month of December.
I love that too. Well, and you think about that, like, okay, so even soon now going back to what you just said about how an elf, the singing or the believing is what drives the sleigh. And like, really, I mean, as we're talking about spiritual truths as well, how important is that? Like to say that our belief, that our faith, and really like when we're talking about Christmas period, like how important is that for Christmas? I mean, if we're going to experience the spirit of Christmas, like how
you
important
have to believe.
Right.
But it was my mother who said to me years, after I'd been out of the house, she said, if you don't believe that your prayers are going to be answered, they probably won't. So that is key to just about every aspect of our Christianity, isn't it? That we have to actually believe. And, there's people that have read the Bible 1,000 times. Unless you believe that that is the true word of God, you don't see the message.
Right.
You do not see.
You don't experience it.
You don't. Right. So when I'm walking around the house talking to myself, I'm not really talking to myself.
You're talking to the Lord.
I am.
Yeah.
Almost all day long.
Right. Talking to him. And so like going back to O Holy Night, I mean, for you, I can see now, John, why like that is such a huge, I mean, really, I can see why that is one of your favorites. And because you have this history, you have somebody that invested time in you and experiences that really kind of declared like, this is true. So like, do you mind like reading like the verses of that song? And
Did you find it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. We bought you enough time.
Okay. So
he probably had it within 1.2 seconds. Yeah. Because Google knew exactly what we wanted before he even wanted it. Yeah.
Isn't that scary? Ooh.
So O Holy Night. O Holy Night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of the dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. So that was the part I had to solo on. It was really hard to not start singing while I was reading that.
I was kind of hoping that's what I was hoping.
Telling me to read it. I knew that too.
I seriously was like, I want Jono to sing this.
So then the chorus is
Holy Night. I don't
okay. Should we just do it?
Yeah. Do it, Jono. Come on.
Singing doesn't come through very well into the podcast, but I mean, it works.
Hey, everybody. I think that everybody watching right now would love to hear you sing "Oh Holy Night."
Let's see if I can do this. I'm sorry if I butcher this. It's been a long time. O holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of the dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn.
Awesome,
That's my
Jono. I like it. I like it. Thanks for doing that.
It says to make a joyful noise unto the Lord in the Bible. It says that, right? But it doesn't say you have to be perfect when you're doing it. So that's the way I justify my singing.
Well, I think, okay, so have you ever heard like your little kids or a little kid singing? And like there's this sense of innocence, like when they're singing, and they don't even have to like touch any of the keys or any of the notes. And there's something about like the innocence of just like that child, like singing for all that they're worth, or just like saying, you know what, I don't have to sing a certain way in order to please. I mean, like, isn't that cool that like a child's sense of worth isn't linked to their performance?
Right.
It's just who they are. It's just what they do. And you love them just because of who they are, whether they hit the right notes or not.
But there's a brain thing about singing.
Right.
There's a brain thing about singing. It repairs those
Lost
little
connections.
nerve and right in your, and you know that, when you hear a song like, okay, so I went to high school in the 70s. I hear these old, really well written songs by, oh God, we just saw a documentary on this guy from the Grateful Dead. I never knew he was such a talented dude either, but they say that releases dopamines in your brain. So
Okay.
to me, it's easier. Like when I talk to Siri on the phone, she understands me better when I sing than when I speak to her.
Really? Huh.
It's really weird.
That is really weird. That is really weird. That was beautiful, Jono. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
for doing that.
that was cool.
Yeah.
Gift to us.
Yeah.
Early
Yeah.
Christmas gift.
Woohoo.
Do you mind, speaking the rest of those the verses of that "Oh Holy Night"?
Do you just want me to sing the rest of the song? Is that what you're trying to say, Sam?
The best part is the next part, the chorus, where it's
Chorus.
bow on your knees.
Or fall on your knees? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Should
fall
I
on
try
your
this now?
knees.
It's been a bit.
This
would be the
is the
chorus.
hard
Yeah.
part to sing.
Fall on your knees, O voices, O night divine, O night when Christ was born, O night. I
It
messed
gets
that
a
up.
little high.
Yeah. I messed that up. But it's "Oh Night, Oh Night
Still
Divine."
though.
And then it's into the verse 2, which is led by the faith. Led by the, okay, I messed that up. Sorry, fam.
Hey, that's okay.
Led by the light of faith, serenely beaming with glowing hearts. By his cradle we stand, so led by light of a star sweetly gleaming. Here came the wise men from Orient land. The King of Kings lay thus in lowly manger. In all our trials, born to be our friend. Truly he... That's a weird change. Truly
think it's like,
he taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace.
Yeah.
And then there's one more verse. But this verse is a little different. I don't think we actually sang this one, but maybe we did.
I love the words of this verse.
Yeah. Chains shall he break for the slave. I don't have music in front of me, so this is real rough.
I love it, Jono. I love it.
What is the structure? Change.
Should we let him off the hook?
Should we all sing it together? Or should we
No way. I don't know the words. I don't know this verse.
His name.
Yeah.
Chains. Give me 1 sec. Give me 1 sec. I have a
Chain shall he
Do you know what
break,
he's gonna-
for the slave is our brother. I love that. I
you've
I
got
love the
the
words of
words.
this. Yeah. Chain shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. I just think like that portion right there, chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. That is a pretty crazy statement. I mean, you think about like,
Yeah, they don't write songs like that anymore, do they?
well, I think they do. It's just that we don't maybe sing them all at Christmas, but because I mean, there's like songs that we sing in worship that declare similar things, But I mean, that's pretty amazing. Chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother. How beautiful is that?
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Like, I mean, like all of us, I think that we would say, okay, if I'm truly honest, like as we think about slavery in America, we would say that was a horrific time.
Mm-hmm.
And we would all agree that slavery is absolutely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And yet I think that if we're actually honest, we would all say that we're slaves to something,
Mm-hmm.
like slaves to our own passions, slaves to our own sin, slaves to some kind of darkness. Or I would say that probably for many of us, there's some kind of addiction or some kind of something in our life that we would say, you know what? The things that like Paul says in Romans, the things that I don't want to do, I do. And the things that I want to do, I don't do.
Golly, that's New Year's resolution time there, boy.
But then like, do the New Year's resolutions actually work?
I don't know. I'm going to try.
Are you going to try?
There's just something about a new year starting, like you want to clean out closets and, unclutter your house and just start over again until about March.
Right. Yeah.
and then it all falls by the wayside. Life keeps getting in the way. I mean, like there's stuff that comes up and it's hard to stick to resolutions.
Yeah, it is.
Really.
But I think like, as you're talking about resolutions, coming back to that verse, which John was going to sing here again in just a moment. Anyways, chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we, let all within us praise his holy name. I think that praise is linked to Jesus. Praise is, and then Jesus is linked to the oppression shall cease. In his name, all oppression shall cease. And I think this is where, like, as we talk about worship, as we talk about singing these Christmas songs, I love it. There's a saying that I can't remember who made it, but he said that we all worship something. We all worship something. In other words, like there's not really the option of not worshiping something. We all worship something, but it's where our worship is placed. It's where our exaltation, it's where our sense of, I worship you, you are the ultimate. And I think that all of us, we make certain things in our lives ultimate things. We make gifts, or we make, our bodies, or we make romantic feelings, or we make sex, or we make whatever that is. We make or we make success or prosperity or material. We say, if I have this, then I find satisfaction. Then I find kind of a sense of purpose, a sense of meaning.
It's never enough though. It just keeps going and going.
It's never enough.
Like there's these people that make, like, I can't even comprehend this. Like, I will never have $1 million, much less make 50 million in a year. And I'm like, what do you need that money for? What really do you need that money for? It doesn't even make sense in my head.
Right. But then the thing about it is that sometimes those people that have been blessed that way, which it can be a blessing, that sometimes they go on and bless tons of other people with
that would be the only good thing that would come out of that.
Well,
but it's what you're talking about is like, it's never enough. Like, they get that and they want more. They have to protect it, or they have to, it's kind of like you watch all these movies about even politicians and what they do to preserve their position.
Right. Yeah.
Which
that
is
sense of power
whether
or whatever.
It's illegal or not, you know?
Well, I mean, like, you look at King Herod. I mean, as we're talking about Christmas,
Oh, yeah.
you look at King Herod. I mean, he is the prime example, right? He's
He's intimidated by a baby.
Right. He's like, these are the threats to my throne or to my rule. So let's wipe them out,
pretty
and I mean,
weird.
that's an actual, like, historical account that happened of somebody saying, I'm willing to do this to preserve my throne, which Herod had made into his ultimate source of security and satisfaction and purpose. But the thing about it is, it was temporal. It wasn't something that lasted forever, right?
He missed the point.
He missed the point. And I think that's where, like, as we're talking about this verse, chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. In other words, all of us have those things in our life that we say, I'm looking to this for a sense of satisfaction. Some of us, maybe it's looking for our parents to say, I want my dad to say, well done. And we look to that and we say, all I'm working for is for my dad or my mom to say, good job. And that can be okay, but it's ultimately not the real thing that we're looking for.
Right.
Like, I mean, that's what worship is all about. Is worship is about putting our sense of security, our sense of worth, our sense of purpose and meaning in the thing that really matters. And as this verse says, and in his name, all oppression shall cease. In other words, it's in one person, and it's in like the one
It's a free gift.
it's a gift that like he gave, you know,
Yep.
in a sense. And I love that you say that, a free gift, because we have that opportunity to say, yes, I want to receive that gift.
Yep.
And we can receive that, you know, and the way that it's not a free gift is in that somebody had to pay for it.
Right.
And that
But
Jesus,
not us.
right,
Thank
right.
goodness for that. Huh?
Yeah. I mean, can
We're
you
going to
imagine?
talk about that like about 3 months down the road.
Right. Yeah. Especially as we hit Easter.
So are you going to close us off today by singing that last verse?
Wow, that seems like a big call.
I think that'd be super cool.
Yeah.
But it's up to you, but
We'll
it's up
see
to
what
you,
happens
Jono.
here.
We are here to just say, you know what, we're here to worship the Lord together. And if we do that with the right note,
Yeah.
doesn't make
See
any
how it
difference.
goes.
It's really about just doing it together.
I'm going to try.
Okay, you try it, Jono.
So the verses I was looking at had a little bit, it was the last part actually wasn't part of, that's why I was confused. Let's just say I was started wrong.
Okay.
Now let me open up again. Let me try here, fam. Truly he taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Chains shall he break, for the slave is a brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we, let all within us praise his holy name. And then
Chorus.
Christ is the Lord. Oh, praise his name forever. His power. Oh, night divine. Oh, night I was born. That's pretty weird. I messed that up hardcore, but there we go.
Ta-da.
I thought that was awesome, John. And it was really cool. It was really cool to. I think that actually, what's interesting is, you know,
Bringing John out of his shell.
it's bringing John out of the shell, and then
We did
it. Good job. And then it's cool because, like, for you, I even sense like kind of this sense of like confidence, like growing as like you kept on singing and stuff like that. And I think that like that's what a big part of this Christian life is all about. Is saying, you know what, I'm just going to choose to like follow him, and I'm going to choose to trust in him.
Oh,
And then as we
yeah.
do that, like we start to kind of gain confidence and that sense of security in who he is and then who we are in him. And I mean, really, how cool is that? That's the relationship, that's the walk that Jesus Christ has us on. And then he wants us, you know, I know, John, for you personally, I know that is getting on air and singing. I know that that's difficult. And yet, like, that's who you are. Like, that's a little bit of who you are.
Right, but he's also very techie, so he's going to put somebody else's version of the song in there.
That would be really funny.
And piece it in there.
You know, I wish I had the time.
Yeah. I tell you what, Celine Dion, if you want to hear an amazing version of that song, Celine Dion, I don't know how she does that with her voice and all that kind of stuff, but I know Josh Groban, I think he also has a really good Oh Holy Night. Carrie Underwood, there's a couple of them. I've been listening to them at Christmas this year. So
Really?
yeah. Anyways, but I think that probably pretty much closes it out. Maybe since Jono's been singing, Do you think that we should ask John if he'd like to close us in prayer?
Sure.
I was
Okay.
like, man,
10,
this must get
10
me
words
out
or
of
less.
this. This is gonna get me out of this.
Let's just do it all right here.
Just make John do it all. I would also like to say that sheet music helps a lot. Because that last one
Well,
had sheet music to
and being
read.
able to really sing out, don't you find that that'd be an easier song to belt out rather
yeah.
than to talk into a microphone as close as you
That's
are?
set up for podcast
Yeah.
talking.
Right.
Yeah.
And standing probably
Yes.
is a big part of that as well.
Be able
Yeah.
to get that.
Also, I was flying blind for
Okay.
the first few years.
you did just fine.
Yeah, you did awesome.
I was like, I feel like I remember how this goes.
We appreciate
Here we go.
it.
Yeah, thank you.
Dear Lord, we just thank you for this time, for your son, just for your unending love
Mm-hmm.
and the way that you're always there
Mm-hmm.
with us, no matter what, even when it feels like we're alone.
Mm-hmm.
You're there to stand with us, and you never let go. You know, no matter what Satan wants to say,
Mm-hmm.
you never let go. You're always there. And just thank you
Mm-hmm.
for all you do.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Amen.
That was more than 10 words.
See you next time.
Bye.
Yeah. Yeah.